Hi, I'm Jacob Fleming. This is the fourth and final part to my profitability assignment. I'll be talking about what I've learned about profitability at Albi and what I've learned in general at Albi, starting with what's really important and what's important for the managers to look at. A thing that I never realized about profitability is how efficient staff is working, making sure that you don't need extra staff working. So because your staff is well trained and they are working as efficiently as possible and they're really earning their paycheck, their time is worth the money that they are being paid to be there. Another thing is rotating produce, making sure that people are looking over stock so that if there's mold, it's not spreading. If there's herbs, they're not wilting, making sure that there's wet towels on them so that they're not wilting, making sure that things are being rotated and done properly the first time. That's a big thing that the chefs look for and I would look for as a chef, making sure that people are moving efficiently and making sure that things are being looked over twice because people do make mistakes. Everyone at Albi, if they're making anything that's going on the menu and it's going towards a customer, it's getting tasted by 2 to 4 people because one person's taste buds might be different than another person's, or someone might just have a bad judgment that day. So everyone really looks through everything and makes sure everything's being done right the first time to kind of prevent food waste. Going into food waste, if I had a management position at Albi and if I could make a recommendation, it would be the daily to buy daily tasks. Many of them are needed, such as things that have salt, making sure that things are kept fresh, they're not being wasted. But some things just don't make sense to me, like toom and hummus are the two biggest ones. Hummus is done every single day because it loses the air pocket, so it's not as fluffy on the plate the next day. But hummus still stays very fluffy within the first week and a half. And I don't see the point of throwing out a liter to 2 liters every single day just because it's not 100% perfect. It's still 90% good. And I think it's just a big food waste at the end of the day because no one's putting hummus and toom in family meal every single day because that's just repetitive. So a lot of it's getting thrown out. That leads me to toom, which is done bi-daily. I'm not 100% sure why the toom is swapped, but all research I've done says that toom is valid for 2 weeks. A week if it's in a restaurant and it has to be good for patrons, but it's done every other day and we're throwing even more toom away because just a small amount is going on plates to go with kefta kebab. But with those two things out of the way, I've learned a lot at Albi. I never realized how little I knew about Middle Eastern food. I didn't know the tricks and the techniques to get shush perfectly on the stick so it's not falling off and things like that, making sure everything is done right the first time. And probably the biggest thing is efficiency. I never realized how slow I moved. I thought I moved faster compared to people that I've previously worked with or people at school. But once I saw the Albi team moving, I realized that I'm a lot slower at doing things like, for example, dicing an onion comparably, and shallots. Shallots are so small, I would take 30 minutes to do a quart, which had to be done almost every single day. So I'm watching other people do it, and they're not pushing down with the knife like I thought I always had to do. Their fingers aren't just knuckled like this so that they don't cut their finger, but it's a guide and they're slicing through, going faster and faster, and just getting that technique, getting that practice, getting that muscle memory. And that was the biggest thing, is learning these things. I absorbed everything like a sponge. I started with prep my first 2 weeks. I was very slow. I was told I was going slow and that more things needed to be done throughout the day, but I couldn't be kept as long because I was hourly. So I'm seeing the way that other people do things. I'm taking other people's recommendations and I'm moving faster and faster every day. At that point, I just look like an experienced prep cook. That's not me being egotistical. That's what Chef Michael Rafidi said. He said it jokingly, but still, everyone saw my improvement, and it was very nice to see that people saw that improvement. And I later got pushed to doing service, and I learned how service runs. I got muscle memory. If there's 10 components on a plate, I could do those components in mainly in order that makes sense, but I could do it in different orders. But I made sure to do it in the same order every time, and I took recommendations from people, making sure that my mise en place was all in the same place. So I got that muscle memory for each order. So instead of me taking 5 minutes to make a salad, it only took me 3. It just was such a big time saver, and learning to ask for help when it's needed. Not just me sitting there like, I'm getting better, I know what I'm doing now. No, but asking for help from the chefs. And I really appreciate what the Alvi team has shown me. And they welcomed me with open arms, and they really pushed me to do better. Thank you so much for watching these videos. That is the end of my profitability assignment, and that is it.